I think we sometimes judge and call it discernment. So that's why I wanted to start from a working definition of it, and how we can know what discernment is, and how we can lay it alongside judgment and make sure that we're discerning and not judging. You pointed to the fact that we know right from wrong. But I kept going back to the when you were given the analogy about your brother-in-law who's the judge. When he comes in, he sits on a bench that's higher than everybody else's. So it's an elevated position. I think that has a lot to do with attitude.
Yeah.
And I think attitude is very critical in both of these words. When you're sitting in judgment on someone, you're taking an elevated place and looking down on them. When you're discerning, I feel like you're more there's more humility and you're on the same level. You're just trying to understand and see how the situation will shake out. When we talk about biblical discernment, I think God gives us biblical discernment to have wisdom to make those choices.
I just see, even in the way you're using your hands, judgment up, discernment is lateral. So that's kind of fun.
And I think, too, when I think about a judge, the judge might ask questions ahead of time, but when they come to make their judgment, the time for questions is done. The judge is no longer going to be asking questions. There's going to be just judgment. Whereas with discernment, it's almost like that's that's a process.
Ongoing.
It's an ongoing, it's a two-way conversation. It's asking questions to really get to the meat of something, get to the heart of something, understand the difference between better and best.
Yes.
Yeah. So have you ever been in a situation where you've asked God for discernment and you felt very much peace in making that decision? How did you know that was from God?
Wow, there's a lot in that question.
I know.
Good gracious.
Just hit the high spots.
So yes, I mean the short answer is yes. That I think that happens a lot, especially. I think that happens a lot when I pray for discernment. God gives me that a lot. And it is truly the peace that passes all understanding. All of a sudden, you know the answer and you feel peace about the answer, but you don't really know why you feel such peace. It's like it's hard to put your fingers on. But I know I've had this situation, especially when I have been looking for a job. You know, a very clear example, and I think this is one that folks go through a lot. You go into a job interview and you're like, okay, God, give me some discernment and some wisdom. Is this the place I'm supposed to work? Is this not the place I'm supposed to work? Make it abundantly clear, please, because I'm, stupid, and sometimes I make stupid decisions. So I want your wisdom, not my own wisdom. I need the wisdom of God. And so what he's done for me in situations like that is if I am sitting in the place that is not the right place for me, he makes me feel empty inside. Like there's no joy in the situation I'm in. And that's his way of speaking to me to say, hey, this is not the environment I want you in. I don't want you to feel good about this because this is not a good environment for you to be in. This is not the one I've chosen. But then when I'm in an environment where I go, yeah, this is definitely the thing I'm supposed to do. This is the job I'm supposed to have. This is the answer to the question. I feel all of these good bubbly feelings inside, as opposed to deadness. But that's my personal. That's God, the way God speaks to me in a personal way.
I like that. I like that too. I can agree with that. Oftentimes it's a peace. It's an experience of peace, and it lines up with God's word. So sometimes God will bring a verse to my mind when I'm trying to pray for wisdom or discernment about a decision or about a situation. A verse or a truth from God's word will come to my mind, and that helps me discern that, yes, in fact, this is the direction I want you to go. This is the door to go through, or whatever. So it's peace that lines up with God's word.